Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Statement number 1. You are Purnam. As I am today, I don't see it, I don't feel it, I don't understand it, I don't experience it. They are saying it is Purnam, but I don't. As I am today, I don't see it, I don't feel it, I don't understand it. Then what is the statement Purnam refers to? What does the statement Purnam means? He says, there is a way that I am going to teach you to understand that you are Purnam. There is a method. You follow a particular kind of a lifestyle, you will understand that you are Purnam. And what is the lifestyle? Depending upon your nature, you follow either one of the two lifestyles. This we have covered till now. We don't want to open the Pandora's box again. So this much we have covered till now. The first path, the path of contemplation, technically called Sannyasa Marga. The second path, technically called as Grihastha Ashrama, the life of a householder. Doing these two paths, following these two paths according to your nature, you attain the Supreme. The path of action is about dropping the doership. The path of renunciation is about dropping the I and the mind. So up to this we have seen. All this we have studied till now. Three, he is going to say, what is happening to those who are not pursuing this? That is mantra number 3. And from mantra 4 to 8, he is going to talk about the supreme goal. The supreme goal of Brahman. So what is that Brahman? From the macrocosm and from the microcosm, he will talk about Brahman. And then from 9 to 16, he will talk about those. The seed is sown here. Mantra 3, very important. The seed is sown here, which will be elaborated in 9 to 14. With all good intentions, people take to the path, and finally, where do they end up? They start rightly, and where do they end up? And then, the person who has gone through the proper way, the drama of realization. This is the scheme of the Upanishad. We will start with mantra 3. Mantra 3 pade.
Asodhya namate loka andhena tamasa vritaha tadunse predya bhigachanti yeke chahatmahano janaha. Asudhya namate loka andhena tamasa vritaha Taghuste pretya bhigachanti eke chatmahano janaha.
Those worlds enveloped by blinding darkness are deemed sunless. Those people slaying their self and departing, go to them. Those worlds enveloped by blinding darkness are deemed sunless. Those people slaying their self and departing, go to them. Atma Hanaha, slayers of Atman, suicidal. So he is saying, not following any one of the lifestyle, people are simply committing suicide. And what will be the quality of that life? What will be the quality of the loka they will be living in? It is sunless, deemed sunless, enveloped by blinding darkness. He is calling all human beings as asuras, rakshasas. That's what the mantra is saying. All human beings are asuras. Asuhu means indriyas. In the Vedic literature, the Vedic dictionary, Asuhu means indriyas, senses. Raha means those who revel. So Asura means those who revel in the senses. If you are not following these two paths, then what are you doing? You are reveling in the senses. Those who are reveling in the senses is called Asuraks. Those who revel in the sensory pleasures, from outside people call them noble. From outside they look like very good. He is not talking about the actual asuras. He is talking about those who appear good, but actually, in the true sense, they are only asuras. From outside, they may look like very good, very noble. And they all go to Swarga. They all go to Swarga also. Upanishad says even Swarga is sunless. All along we have heard what? Narakaloka is only sunless. And Swargaloka is full of enjoyments only, isn't it? If you go to Swargaloka, in the retreat they will give you tea in the morning. If you go to Swargaloka, they will give you Amrita in the morning. Because that day if you have Amrita, that day you will not age. So like that, that's how you keep yourself alive for young and alive and indulgent for so long. People hope like that and go. Carefully follow. They hope like that and go. But they have committed a great sin. Having committed a great sin of suicide, how there can be any benefit in any loka? You're able to follow. They have committed a great sin. What is the sin they have committed? Atma Hatya they have done. Atma Hatya means suicide. See, in this context, understand, if you are not living the two lifestyles, you are committing suicide. Suicide here means if you are not leading any one of the lifestyles suggested previously, you are committing suicide. All the higher lokas that people talk about and they want to go there, higher lokas means better life, better world, better enjoyment. Understand? Heaven means better life. Better life means what? Enjoyments will come and you need not do anything. That is heaven. What is the definition of heaven? You don't have to do anything. Everything will come, isn't it? And everything will come in abundance, unlimited also. In the world, if rivers flow with water, there the rivers flow with maybe Balaji has taken full-time contract there. It flows. Continuously it is flowing. You don't have to worry about anything. Whenever you feel like drinking, just take a mug and confirm. That kind of a enjoyment. You don't sweat at all. You don't sweat at all means you don't have to do anything. All comforts will be provided to you. Abba, that's what we are all seeking for. He says it is Atma Hanaha. It is spiritual suicide. How to understand that now? Suicide means harming oneself. You harm yourself and then you cannot stop harming others. Remember that. A person who has harmed oneself will definitely harm the rest. It works like that. How to understand that? How to understand that we end up giving pain only to others. Everybody is striving to give joy and pleasure to others. All of us wants to give some joy and happiness and pleasure to others. What do we end up giving? This observation is very important. Again I repeat. We all strive to give joy and pleasure and happiness to others. But finally, we end up giving suffering, pain. Upanishad is saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, noble people. The way to hell is paved with noble intentions. The so-called good people are the ones take them to Naraka. How do we understand this? From your own observation, you will know. If you look at objectively at your own life, where all you strived hard to give joy, what did you actually end up giving? Sir, those two mantras are better. We'll go and study those two mantras. That is better now. At least we are talking something there. This is something we don't. Asurya namate loka andena tamasa avritaha. It is so completely enveloped that you do not know what you are doing. You don't know what you are doing. It is with all good intentions. How to understand this in a simple way? Unsuccessful people, unhappy, understandable. Successful people also unhappy, what do you do? Again I repeat. Unsuccessful people, unhappy is understandable. Successful people also unhappy is simply not understandable. And life is of this force. When both the successful and unsuccessful end up being unhappy, where do you move forward? How do you move forward then? Again I repeat. If successful is also ending up in unhappiness and unsuccessful is also ending up in pain and sorrow, successful is ending in pain and sorrow, failure is also ending up in pain and sorrow, there seems to be no way to be happy. Since there seems to be no way to be happy, what people do? They start doing weird things to find. They start doing all weird things to find happiness. You can understand this. If we have studied the sufferings, the worries and anxieties and mental conflicts of thousands of unhappy people, you have to arrive at only one conclusion. Again I repeat, if you study thousands of millions of life of unhappy people, study their life, study their sufferings, worries, anxieties, the conflicts, all boils down to only one thing. What? They say, the human being doesn't know what he wants. Upanishad goes one step deeper and says, since you do not know who you are, you don't know what you want. First to know who you are, then find out what you want. Are you able to understand the steps? Atmahanaha is seeking what you want without knowing who you are. That's Atmahanaha. And what will be the quality of life of that people? Full of misery and suffering. Sir, knowing who I am and all I will do later. That and all I will do later. First let me get what I want. You will be committing suicide again and again and again. Those who do not know themselves, carefully follow. Those who do not know themselves, what are they doing? What are they doing? They are pursuing a path, deep ignorance. I don't know how to even adjective. What is the best adjective you can give? I don't know. Deeper, deepest ignorance, or I don't know. Beautiful Sanskrit word, Moola Vidya, they say. There is a beautiful technical word, Moola Vidya. You keep to that Moola Avidya. As long as this Moola Avidya is there, with the ignorance at the core. Ignorant at the core is there. What happens? Everything you do is in ignorance only. Everything that you do is in ignorance. You acquire in ignorance. Again, you acquire in ignorance. You make decisions in ignorance, and then you want to run faster and faster and faster, trying to get to the destination. And in that running faster, when you see so many people running along with you, first thing what you have to do? You are running, and so many are running along with you. What you have to do? You can't step out and say after you. Can you? Can you step out and say, after you? Will you say that? Can you say that? You cannot. Therefore, what happens? You kill yourself and you kill others. Atma Hanaha. So, what happens to such lifestyle? What happens to such people? Where will they end up? They end up in this hell, which is beautiful description. Sunless and ignorant. But what makes them to believe they know what they want? Everybody here believes they know what they want. Not a single person says, I don't know what I want. Everybody seems to know what they want. Isn't it? When I am talking, I seem to know what I want. When you are listening, you seem to know what you want. And if the Upanishad Rishi were to come here, he will say, what is tamasha going on here? Both don't know. Both don't know what they want. What are you doing? What is it that is even happening here? You know who is an Asura? Carefully follow. Raj. He writes books. Even without knowing the subject, he wrote a book first. Management. You know what is management? One blind with a little courage, gather around, blind with less courage. I am not saying that. Upanishad is saying that. One blind person with little courage, gather similarly blind with less courage, and they all form a group. And that group is called management team, isn't it? Adukku or course, adukku or fees. Yesterday, a boy said, I got an admission in this college where he is teaching. I will not recommend anybody to go to that college. If he is teaching, why will anybody go to that college? And that fellow said, I said, okay, boy, very good. Fees evlo, 11 months course. I am asking what is the fees. He is saying, it's a 11-month course. He said, okay, still I want to know what is because my worry is only that, isn't it? I will worry about what I don't have. No. So I am asking him, what is the fees? Sir, we have to give it in 4 stages. Again, next answer. We have to give it in 4 stages. And they gave the breakup also. Okay, but understood that also. What is the fees? Finally, he said a figure. I said, for 11 months? Yes, sir. But this is one of the very affordable. Correct. What words people use. Our legit. Constructive purposes. Aparna is saying affordable. The blind with the little courage gather. The blind with the little courage, what do? They gather the blind with less courage. And they all form like a team. Where will they end up? Asurya namate loka andena tamasa avritaha. The human being living oneself in ignorance is telling others what light is. That person himself is in ignorance. That person himself doesn't know what it is. But giving light to others. So, what is this mantra saying in one word? The law. Make a note of this law. You will not talk after this. When you start a discourse on matters about which you know nothing, it is difficult to estimate how much harm you do to others. How can you estimate that? When you talk about a subject that you do not know anything about, impossible to estimate the amount of harm that you will do to others. And what is that harm? How to estimate that? This mantra is saying, Asurya namate loka andena tamasa avritaha. This work of showing the path to others is always delightful. This work of showing path to others is always so delightful when that person himself doesn't know it. When that person himself doesn't know it, when that person hasn't walked the path, but he can sit and give a discourse to others. Upanishad says, you are doing Atma Hatya. You are committing suicide. Not only you commit suicide, what will you do to others? You will end up harming others. Sir, at least I don't want to harm anybody, sir. What to do? Know yourself. As long as you do not know yourself, you will end up harming others, but your intentions may be good and noble. What is the intention that you may say? I only want to help others. With all good intentions only I did, sir, but it ended up ulta. How it will end ulta? Because in the first place, the road to hell is paved by good intentions. The road to hell is paved by good intentions. Not knowing, if you do not know who you are, how can your intentions be good then? Are you able to follow? If you do not know who you are, if you are not living these two lifestyles, how can your intentions be good in any way? It cannot be good. But these people will be very attractive. These people will be very, very attractive. Why? We easily get attracted. Because something is common in both. What is that common in both? You are hoping something quick. He is also guaranteeing you something quick. And when both get together, how it will be? This is how it will be. You follow? Okay, I'll give you a simple example. You will understand this mantra. If a Gautam Buddha is walking on the road and a person selling daith is walking on the road, where will the crowd go to? There are two people walking on the road. One is Gautam Buddha. Another person, what do you call daith in English? Tie around the talisman. As there are two guys walking on the road. One is Gautam Buddha. Another guy is selling talisman. And where people will go? They will not go to Gautam Buddha. They will go to this guy only. Why? Because this guy is giving you a hope. He is promising something. And all promises are made in ignorance. A wise person will never make a promise. All ignorance will make a promise. And then what is a promise? It can be without knowing who you are, all your problems can be handled. You need not know who you are. Finally, one day if you are interested, you do it. But to solve your problems and all, you need not know who you are. Are you able to understand the difference? Upanishad says, the enlightened person says, as long as you do not know who you are, doesn't matter. The problems will keep appearing again and again and again. The same problems will appear. Not only you will suffer, you will cause suffering to others. That is the Asura. Who is an Asura? Who is an Asura? We have studied all these Puranic stories. Rakshasa. Who are they? Torturing others and enjoying that torture. Isn't it? Torturing others and they enjoy the pain they give to others. This is ignorant people. I want to give joy to another, but I end up giving sorrow. And then what do? I blame that other. Not realizing what? It is you who are incapable of. It is you not knowing yourself is incapable of helping others. Why? Because you do not know the path to yourself. If you do not know the path to yourself, then what to do? Choose these two lifestyles. Choose these two lifestyles. One thing you don't talk is what? One thing you should not talk. What you should not talk? About God, about soul, about Atman, Brahman, all that you don't talk. But that is the one subject that we all are so eloquent in giving a discourse. So eloquent in giving a discourse. A child comes and asks, what is God? Honesty demands that you should say, I don't know. Somebody comes and asks about God, you should say, I don't know. But then I will not say I don't know. I will say something. Even though I don't know what they said in the class is, and you will start your own discourse. First statement only is what is said in the class. After that it's all your discourse only. Andam tamaha. Surya namate lokaha andena. It is like so. It is so blinding. It is so sunless. It is. Sunless means no clarity whatsoever. Sunless means no clarity whatsoever. But how do I get it? What should I do to get it? Follow these two paths. Follow this marga. So he says, these worlds is who are you then? Khalil Gibran writes a beautiful story. Very beautiful story about this thing. Beautiful story he writes. In one of the village, he heard a preacher talking about God. God can be seen today, now. God is here in the present. God is not in the future, now, here. All that very scholarly discourse he was going. And what is the way to know God? Leave everything and come with me. Knowing fully well, nobody can do that. He says, if you want to see God, leave everything and and come. How can you leave everything and come? So he was a very great preacher. Why? Because nobody could come, and they all started cursing themselves. Oh my God, I can't, I'm not able to leave this, I'm not able to leave that. Therefore, what a useless, wretched person I am. When there is a great person here who knows about God saying, I'll show you God. Like that, he became a very big preacher, very big knower of God. In one of the villages, when he was talking, suddenly a boy stood up and said, I will come with you. A boy stood up and said, I will come with you. Yes. Now, because that boy, this preacher in his experience knew what people will get so excited temporarily and all for half an hour, 1 hour, and they'll say everything is ready to do and all that stuff. By the time you reach the village border, they will go back. So he thought, one of these excited person saying this. So he said, now I found one person, come. And he was leaving the town and going to the next town. And he left the border of this town and he turned back. The boy is following him. Wherever he goes, the boy started following. By and by, what happened? Anytime he says, I'll show you God now, that boy is standing up. Every time he's saying to the crowd, now I'll show you God, that boy is standing up now. And looking at the boy, he's putting his eyes down. Because he's not showing. 3 months passed, 6 months passed, the preacher is becoming thin, emaciated, worried, anxious, and the boy is becoming fit. Finally, 1 year passed. The preacher called the boy and said, I do not know about this God business and all. I don't know what God is and all. I saw a very good potential. I saw a very good opportunity. I saw a very good opportunity here and I am cashing in that opportunity. Why are you interfering with my business? Because every time I am saying I'll show God, you are standing up. Because I myself don't know God. What he has done to the thousands of people, he has murdered himself and he has caused enormous destruction to the others. Upanishad says, leave this subject out. Talk about politics. Because that is very interesting, isn't it? 85% of the newspaper is only politics. Why? Because it is, this person did this, that person did that, why he did that, analysis about why he did. It is like we all like to do kottu parota of others, no? Isn't it? We all like to do that. Here he says, Atma Hanaha. Not only you are harming yourself and you harm the others. This is Asura. But how do you start? That's where you are blinded. How do you start? You start by convincing yourself you are having good intentions. Never once you have questioned who you are to say I have good intentions. What do I know to say that I have good intentions? Nobody questions that. Atma Hanaha it is. This is called Atma Hanaha. Atma Hanaha means spiritual suicide. And this Atma Hanaha, spiritual suicide, is supposed to be suicide itself is worst, no? Of all the sins, suicide is very sinful. And why do we have to do that? Because we are not living this lifestyle. What is this lifestyle? The lifestyle of Andena Tamasa. It's not only ordinary darkness, it is blinding darkness. To put it in another way, blinding darkness means believing that you know when you actually don't know. To put it in a very simple way, what is blinding darkness? You are so convinced you know when you actually don't know. Paradox of life. The ignorant person says, I know. The wise person says, I don't know. That's a paradox. The wise person says, I don't know. The ignorant person says, I know. Full of darkness. Three things this mantra is saying. First you will go to the loka, which is, first you will go to the loka where it is Asura Loka. Asurya means Asura Loka it is. Second, enveloped in darkness. It is enveloped in darkness. Thirdly, no scope or very little scope for that person to, very little scope for that person even to understand what is happening. Even very little scope that person has to understand what's happening. Those with good intentions are able to notice the contradictions. First contradiction. Those with good intentions and helping others, normally what do you thought? They will go to heaven, Swarga Loka. Now what is he saying? They will go to Asura Loka. First contradiction. That's why I said in the beginning itself, Isavasyopaniṣad is full of contradictions. They are saying, you will go to Asura Loka. And what is that Asura means? Indulgence. You love indulgence. Living an indulgent life, talking about discipline to others. The third is what? Spiritual ignorance. Ignorance. And what is ignorance? A spiritual ignorance. Darkness conceals an object as it were. It is there but you don't see it. That is darkness. Correct? What is darkness? Darkness means it is there but you are not able to see it. What light does? Light doesn't bring the object. Light doesn't create the object. Object is there already. Light simply exposes it. Light simply reveals it. Knowledge does that. That's what knowledge does. In the Manushya Loka itself, where people are hoping for enjoyment, nobody will come for Upanishad. How much more blinding it will be in heaven, where it is all the time indulgences only. That's why it's blinding darkness. Are you able to follow? Even here people find it difficult to get into this self-study, Atma Vidya pursuit. In the heaven, which is full of indulgences all the time, where will people have time for this? Atma Vidya. Nobody has any time. Okay. Even in Mahabharata, Krishna and Arjuna didn't meet in the Bhagavad Gita battlefield, no? Arjuna and Krishna met for how long? From childhood they were together. They have gone lot of parties, they have gone together. Lot of world tour, they have been together. Lot of indulgences they have done together. Never once did Arjuna ask Krishna, Sishyasteham Shadimam Dvam Prapannam. He never said that even once. I am your disciple. I have surrendered to you. Teach me the path. He never said even once. When did he say that? When did he say that? The Mahabharata battlefield, when he imagined that they are going to die. Are you able to follow that? They didn't even die. He assumed that they are going to die. Imagining their death, he started worrying. Here itself people find it difficult to ask these questions. In the higher lokas full of enjoyment, where is the chance for people to come to this Brahma Vidya, etc.? Therefore, Upanishad says, those worlds that you reach without knowing who you are, even though you may be a good person, even though you may have noble intentions, those worlds are covered with darkness. And what kind of a darkness is that? Blinding darkness. Ignorant people, destroyers of Atma. Understood. Sequence. Look at the sequence. Ignorant people destroying Atma. Understandable. Second, those who go to heaven also are destroying Atma. Of the two, who is more ignorant? Who is more ignorant? Common sense. The second category. Second category are more. If this fellow is foolishness, this fellow is PhD in foolishness. Samsara continues. That is indication. Andena tamasa. Departing, go to them. Departing, go to them. Samsara continues. Samsara continues. What is samsara? Samsara is depending on the undependable. That's all samsara is. What is samsara? You are holding on to something that which is not dependable. That is samsara. You are so deeply convinced that it is dependable. That's why you are holding on to it. More you hold on to, more they will feel happy, secure. You can understand it all this through knowledge and understanding or get out, or you can go through a winding path. You can go through the winding path you can go through. What is that winding path that you can go through? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam, again birth, again death, again birth, again death. You learn it. Upanishad, out of compassion and sympathy, is saying, why do you have to go through that? Why can't you know it now only? Yeah. Nalla retreat nadakumbodhu, why can't you learn it here only? Why do you have to say, I will cry, I will have pain, I will cause misery to myself, and then I will cause more misery to others through me? Why will I don't know how people have an affinity to that misery so much. That affinity to misery is tamas. That affinity to pain and misery and suffering. See, everybody says, I want to be only happy and peaceful, sir. You know the truth? Nobody wants to be happy and peaceful. They all want to be in misery only. Verbally they say, I want to be happy, I want to be happy, peaceful, sir. You tell them the way, they back off. They say, I want to be happy. You tell them this is the way to be happy, they will back off. And then they will take to the path that leads them to misery. Again they will come and say, I want happiness, I want peace, I want happiness. Asurya Loka. Reveling in the sensory pleasures, extroverted pleasures, but not the joy that you derive from Atma, Brahman, God, Self. These people go into a place which is sunless. Sunless it is. The difficulty is this. He is seeing it as sunless and he is worried about us. Since we are not seeing it like that, we are not at all worried. That's the only difference. Looking at it from the sunless point of view, he is worried about us. Isn't it? He is worried about us, but we are looking at him saying, why are you so worried about us? Okay, here and there I have small problems, that's all. Yeah, one problem here, one problem there I have, adhida sort out pantelna, we are going to be happy. Why are you getting so excited unnecessarily or nothing? That is how we look at that person. And that person says it is Suryat namate lokaha andena tamasavrtaha. Thinking that they are going to a loka filled with devas, they are becoming asuras. That's where you always find the difference between a good person and bad person is not a very big difference. Again I repeat, the difference between good and bad is not so wide. It's just a very, very, very thin, subtle. Actually, that line doesn't exist at all. Upanishad says. At one level, it looks like there is a very thin line dividing good and bad. At the Upanishadic level, it says there is no line between good and bad. It is simply bad only. It is bad only. Why? Because you are not following any of the lifestyle that is discussed above. You are not having the courage to live that lifestyle. Or you will start living that lifestyle. One trouble here, one trouble there. You quickly drop it. One pain here, one small pinprick here. All are pinpricks only. One small pinprick here, one small pinprick there. Mind exaggerates the pain so much that you fall for it. Mind exaggerates. Remember that. Mind always magnifies, exaggerates. What you see is not what it is. The way that you see it is your exaggeration. Believe me, nobody will accept it. At the most, they will say, "Ungalku vandha theriyum sir," they will say. Isn't it? At the most, if you are in my shoes, you will know it. I will always tell myself, why will I ever want to be in your shoes? Because I don't know how many times I was in your shoes in the past. I don't know. Why will I want to be in the shoes? Why will I want to be in your shoes? Again, mind magnifies. You are sick, you go to the doctor says you need an injection. At the sight of injection, the person faints. Isn't it? Sight of injection, the person faints. Can't take injection. Another person goes to the same doctor, sickness. Doctor says, you need an injection. The person says, give me 10 minutes. Why? Because I have to prepare myself now. So he will sit in the meditative posture with his eyes closed. Breathe in, breathe out. I don't know what all the fellow will do. Meditation. For what? Take an injection. Isn't it? Another person goes to the doctor. Injection. As he is being pricked, he goes. Another person goes to the doctor. Doctor has to say, injection is over, get up. Are you able to understand, follow till now? Yes. Now, remove the mind from all the four bodies and ask the body what happened. It will say it's a pinprick. Remove the mind from all the four bodies and ask the body, what did you experience? Body is not cut open, it's only a pinprick. The question is, where is the pain coming from now? Where is the pain coming from now? Magnification, exaggerates. This exaggeration is this, magnification is that takes you to this naraka. Vedanta says it is there temporarily. It is not saying it is not there. Carefully follow. Vedanta is not saying it is not there. Vedanta says it is there, but not in the way that you are magnifying it. Understand the difference. If it says it is not there, again it is meaningless. If it agrees with you, again it is meaningless. Then what Vedanta says, it is there, but not in the way that you are exaggerating it. Not in the way that you are magnifying it. But every mind has this tendency to exaggerate, magnify. Andam tamaha. Samsara, ignorance continues. When ignorance continues, samsara also continues. So what is the way out? What is the way out? Between the two, choose one path. That is the solution. Now they have given the solution first. From now on, all the talk will be concluding like what? If you want to escape this, choose. Of the two, choose one. Of the two, choose one and keep following it. The worry of ignorance of Swargaloka or heaven is what? You know that it is only limited time. You know it's only a limited time. And you will know when the countdown starts also. Don't ask me how and all, they know. The countdown, the countdown to fall starts. When the countdown started, worry starts along with it. The higher you go, greater is the fall. The higher you go, greater is the fall. Because higher you go, learn to be stable there. If you are not stable, don't go that high. That is Andena Tamasa. Surya Namate Lok. That is this mantra. Are you able to follow? Stabilize yourself and then go. Stabilize yourself and then go. It is so compassionate. Having given the medication and the solution first, it is scolding us. First it doesn't scold. First it gives the solution. Everything is kept ready first. And then it starts giving us beatings. From now onwards, it's only we are going to get whacked again and again and again. Second problem, preoccupation. Magnification is one problem. Preoccupation is another problem. How to withdraw the mind from the preoccupation is the biggest challenge. It just keeps running, just keeps going by itself. Why it keeps going? Because it wants. When can you say, I don't know? When will this running stop? What is the methodology if you adopt? The running will stop. The only methodology to stop the running is start saying thank you. Start saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Running stops. The only method to withdraw to stop the preoccupation is by saying thank you. When you say thank you, you will not want anymore. After saying thank you, after saying thank you, you should not ask, no. Thank you, but give me more now. What does it mean? It means that thank you is not a thanks at all. So thank you means it's over. So you keep saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What happens? No more wanting. Where there is no more wanting, no more running. No more preoccupation, no more running. Magnification, preoccupation. These are the diseases of the asuras. Magnification, preoccupation and all is the diseases of the asuras. Where will they go to? They go to this lokas, which is sunless, etc. From outside it looks like wonderful. From outside it looks so beautiful. From outside it looks so wonderful. In reality it is a sunless world. Why? Because you do not know that Atma. Now we are coming to the core. Atma Hatya. You have destroyed the Atman. You have destroyed the self. That is why all this problem is because you have destroyed the Atman, the self. Now the question will be what? You feel like asking, what is that blessed Atman now? What is that Atman that I don't know, that I am suffering like this? What is that Atman? Mantras 4 to 8 is going to talk about that. Beautiful set. Again, 4 to 8 is one set. And this set has 3 points. Atma Swarupam, the nature of Brahman. Atma Swarupa Jnanam, the knowledge of that Swarupam. Third, Atma Swarupa Jnana Palam. 3 things. Atma Swarupam, Atma Swarupa Jnanam, Atma Swarupa Jnana Palam. 3 things is going to talk. Beautiful topic. Mantras 4 to 8. What it means is the nature of God, knowledge of the nature of God, and the benefit of this knowledge. 3 points in this 4 mantras. Again I repeat. Nature of Atman, Brahman, God. Knowledge of the nature of Brahman, God. What is the benefit you get if you gain this knowledge? What is the benefit you gain? Because if prayojanam is not told, if benefit is not told, nobody will venture into anything. So what he does, he describes the benefit also. As he is describing the fall here, he should describe the benefit here also, no? So what he does, he gives Atma Jnana Palam. Mantras 4 to 8. We will move on to mantra 4.
Anejadekam manaso javiyo nainadeva apnuvan purvamarshad tadhavato jnanate titishtatasmin napo matarishva dadati. Anejadekam manaso javiyo nainadeva apnuvan purvamarshad tadhavato jnanate titishtatasmin napo matarishva dadati.
Atma, the nature of Brahman, the nature of the self. That is unmoving, one faster than mind. The senses could not reach it. It ran ahead. Remaining stationary, it outruns other runners. It being there, air sustains life. Atma Swarupam. What is this Atman? That is unmoving. One, faster than mind. How can there be anything that is faster than mind? Is the fastest. This is faster than the mind. The senses could not reach it. It ran ahead. Remaining stationary, it outruns other runners. So everybody started running. And when they reached their destination, Brahman was already there. And from there they saw Brahman is already here. So he is here, he ran and he outran. It being there, air sustains life. How to elaborate all this is the challenge now. He simply says all this. Now how to elaborate each and everything. First, the seen is supported by the unseen. The seen is supported by the unseen. The roots of a tree is concealed in darkness. Deep buried But it is that which supports. It is that which you can forget, but you cannot live without it. It is that which you can forget. We all have forgotten it, but still you cannot live without it. Why? Because without it, life will not be sustained. And why did you miss it? Because it's buried so deeply as it were. It's buried so deeply as it were. Actually, it's not buried and all. It's there. More than pratyaksha, it is there. Direct. The revolving wheel depends on the unrevolving axle. We have seen that. We take all this from these Upanishads only and we keep it. The moving wheel is supported by the unmoving axle. The wheel of change moves on that which is unchangeable. Why do we say it like that? Transformation or change takes place when there is some scope for further adaptation. Change takes place where there is a scope for further adaptation. Then only you can change. Where there is an opportunity, where there is a potential to be something else, then only you can change. A potential, a scope, an opportunity to be something else from what you are now. Then only changes will happen. Are you okay? Here he says it is no change like that can happen here. Why? Because it is one, and that one is complete in itself, Purnam. Connect it like that. It is one, complete in itself, and it is Purnam. And then he says, faster than, I am describing one by one. Each and every word, each and every description we try to understand. Third one. Faster than the mind. Okay. Running is the mind. Mind and running goes together. In order to justify the running, mind will define a purpose. But running is the mind. Again I repeat. Summa irukka mudiyadhu. Asthira and Chanchala. Asthira and Chanchala. From here only all that further elaboration comes. Running is the mind. It cannot stay still. But then running around, you feel like so silly. So what do? First you define a purpose, and that purpose makes the running justified, isn't it? Ultimately it is purposeless only. But the mind causes a purpose for its running. That purpose the mind creates for its running is known as a desire. What is a desire? This is the definition of a desire. Puspusa, or class, or definition we give, isn't it? Something we are giving, hoping something will click. So what is desire? Desire is a purpose the mind creates to justify its running. Why? Because it can't stay quiet. Every day the mind decides to fulfill a particular goal. Isn't it? 10,000 steps. The mind decides to fulfill that goal. What is the goal? 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps is the goal. Then the running begins. You wake up, the running begins. And then you keep checking the meter. How much you are. Then we found out a method, isn't it? Simply you sit and you keep moving like this. It starts imagining that you are walking. Yeah, and then your count is increasing. Who are you cheating? 10,000 should come, that's all. By the time the goal is reached, it is found useless. By the time you get it, the mind understands that it is useless. And what it does? It will find out another goal to run. It will find another purpose to run. You leave one fellow and the mind will run behind another fellow. After reaching that, you will say there is no substance in this. Now I should try for that. So it continues running further and further and further. Atman runs faster than that, he said. What is the connection now? Okay. What is the connection now? What is this running? The religious person has developed an understanding. What is that understanding? All achievement is nothing but trying to satisfy the mind. He has understood that. All achievements is nothing but an attempt to satisfy the mind, and he ran before the mind and made the mind to stop. Faster than the mind. He ran before the mind. He ran faster than the mind. Where he got training and all, we don't know. He got the training. He ran faster than that. At least now you know what is the training. What is the training? 2 lifestyles. The 2 lifestyle is the training. Of the 2 lifestyle, any one lifestyle you choose, you will run faster than the mind. Running faster than the mind means, when the mind says, this is what I want, you outrun that and see what it is wanting and stop it. This is running faster than the mind. Mind creates excuses to chase, to run. Mind creates excuses. And the excuse is the desire. Desire is nothing but an excuse to keep running, because it can't stay. It can't stay quiet. Something it has to be done, isn't it? Like, remember that story? The demon came and asked the person, give me a job. If you don't give me a job, I will kill you, it said. Remember that story? Such a simple story. A demon came to the wise person and said, if you don't give me job, I will kill you. Because he can't stop without a job. So what the wise man did? Climb the post up and down. And still it is climbing up and down. Because job is given, no. What is the job? Climb up and down. It will be climbing up and down. Never it will stop at one point and turn back and ask why. Never it can ask why. Because it is so preoccupied in that. It is so preoccupied in that running, it cannot stop. Are you able to follow? So he says, faster than the mind. Faster than the mind means reaching a point before the mind and knowing where the mind is going to take you to and avoiding that. That is called faster than the mind. Abram, the senses could not reach it. The senses could not reach it. Because senses all can know only indirect knowledge. Senses don't have the capacity for direct knowledge. Even though we call it pratyaksha pramanam, even though we call it as a direct perception, Mimamsa, technical analysis, you have to understand, no senses has the capability of direct knowledge. It is only indirect. Okay. What do you mean by indirect knowledge? The eyes see an object. When the eyes see an object, what the eyes see and what the eyes cannot see. Again, the eyes sees an object. What the eyes can see and what the eyes cannot see. The eyes can see the object, but the eyes cannot see the light that is enlivening the object. So the enlivening factor is not seen, that which is enlivened is seen. Senses could not reach it. That is called senses could not reach it. Because that which is enlivened by light is seen. What is not seen? The light is not seen. So what you call as perception is that which is known through something else, but that is not known. That's why all worldly knowledges are called indirect knowledge. Even though for logical purposes, in some other classes we used to say pratyaksha, upamana, anumana, direct perception and all that. Upanishad says all that knowledge is wrongly they have been teaching you so long. Now learn it rightly. What? All knowledges are indirect knowledge only. Don't put your faith either in the mind or in the senses. That's what he said. Don't put your faith on any one of them. That's the message here. Don't put your faith on that. But all our faith is on the senses and the mind. And senses cannot reach it. It outruns the mind and makes the mind to stop. It means, how can you depend on these two to know the Atman? Able to follow? That is why no knowledge of Atman is possible through the instruments, obviously. Again I repeat, no knowledge of God is possible. Obviously what it means is through the instruments. But at least, sir, some glimpse we can get, no? At least something I can know, no? Some indication at least. Not possible. How is it possible that it is not possible? The reality is, it is not possible. As soon as the eyes open, it starts gathering information. It starts gathering information. As soon as eyes open, it starts gathering information. And more information you gather, more and more scope you are creating to run. More information you gather, more scope to run. That's why in the culture they said, don't go anywhere, you should not even cross your village. Just be in your village. Oh, why they restricted people there? Why can't they explore the world and go on a world tour? Isn't it? Rajvel, your passport has how many countries stamped? 70 countries. Stamping visa. Running all around what happened? Correct. First thing running around 70 countries, he came back to this place. Why even go that round? Remaining stationary, it outran others. Remaining stationary, it outran others. It being there, air sustains life. You think pranas. You think prana is sustaining life. Amar. Deeply prana is there. No. What is sustaining life? Is prana sustaining life? It being there, pranas are doing its job. Atman, Brahman is a wonderful management person. No. It creates job and it delegates people to the respective people, and those who Atman has delegated the job, they do the job so perfectly. That's why delegation has to be learned from Brahman only. Yeah. Because Brahman gave the delegation job to Lord Yama. Make sure people die. How completely Yama is doing that? How much ever you plead, Yama has no. Says, this is the job that has been given to me. If you want any exemption, go to that person. But now But now, come with me. No, give me 2 days break. I have chances was given to you before. You didn't. It being there, air sustains life means all the laws, all the gods are doing their respective jobs allocated by Brahman, as it were. He says, wind god, do your job. And they are so wonderful. Where do you get people like that, Prabhu? Even you don't get, no. He's also struggling. How many people? 6,000 people, huh? 6,000 people under him. What will happen if there are 6,000 people under him now? Yeah. At least Bharat and all came out of that, I think. Still there, Bharat? Illa. Mantra 3 though you should remember. You only remember mantra 3. It knows how to, it creates the job, it delegates the job and ensures that life is sustained. Dharma. It being there, air sustains life. See, this is such a Vedic language, very difficult to decode as to what they are saying. And I am not saying I have decoded it rightly. I am not saying that. I am saying this is one way of decoding. That's all. I am not saying this is the right way or this is the only way. Maybe there are so many better ways also possible. How to explain? It being there, air sustains life. Life is sustained by the laws. And for each and every law, there is a God ensuring that the law functions. And they do their job so perfectly that no possibility of them making any error, no deviation, no nothing. It being there, air sustains life. This is Atma Swarupam. This is the nature of God. This is the nature of Atman. One more verse and we will have a break. Mantra 5.
Jati tannai jati taddure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bhagyatah tade jati tannai jati taddure tadvantike Tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bhagyatah Tat ejati, tat na ejati. That moves not. That is afar, that is even near. That is inside all this, that is even outside all this. It's translated rightly, Don't look at it like it's translated correctly, they have translated. That moves, that tat ejati, tat na ejati. That moves not. That is afar, that is even near. That is inside all this, that is even outside all this. See how many times you hear this, so wonderful to hear it again and again and again. That's why in the 10th chapter, Krishna said this to Arjuna. I am repeating this again and again, Arjuna, to you. Why? Because you are so eager to listen to it again and again and again. What is it again and again and again? One of the greatest mantras ever uttered in human history. Where you have to be bold enough to leave your logic behind to understand this. You have to be bold enough to leave, and the spiritual seeker has this courage. What is the courage? The questioner, as it were, telling the Upanishadic Rishi, this statement of yours refutes all our laws of logic and reason. Upanishad says, what can I do? If logic is to be refuted when confronted by a fact, then it must be refuted. Correct? The fact cannot be discarded. You change your reasoning. That's Upanishad. Fact cannot be discarded because it doesn't fit your logic. Just because it doesn't fit your logic, the facts cannot be changed. You change your reasoning. And to change your reasoning requires courage. What is the courage? Opposites cannot coexist, is the logic. Opposites cannot coexist. Change that. Opposites coexist. Either a person is living or dead. A person cannot be living and dead at the same time. But those who know the secret of life say, life and death are coexisting. You don't see it. That's all. Just because you don't see it, the facts cannot be changed. You don't see it. In the Vishwarupa Darshana 11th chapter, Krishna showed it. Arjuna got scared looking at that. He said, go back, he said. If you go to 11th chapter, you will see that in Vishwarupa Darshana, Krishna showed Arjuna life and death coexisting, he showed. Looking at that, Arjuna got so scared, he said, I don't want to see it. Go back. Go back to what? Show me only. Either show me life or death, I am okay with it. Don't show both together because it is too much for me to take. When your birth certificate is given, death certificate is also issued. What will you do? Birth certificate issued, it's okay. And nobody will want to see their death certificate, isn't it? Will anybody want to see their death certificate? Thank God we won't be there to see it, isn't it? Somebody will only see it. He is saying, when your birth certificate is issued, along with it, what is issued? Death certificate is also issued. This is a bit worrisome. This is a bit troublesome. Understand it as your certificate. Don't look at others around you. Oh, all your certificates are issued. Don't say that. Understand it is your certificate is issued. An unavoidable condition to live life. Paradox. An unavoidable condition to live life is paradox. Life is that paradox. How to describe that paradox now? So he takes the ultimate Brahman and gives a beautiful description conveying this message. First I am giving the implied meaning, then we will go to the word meaning. This is the implied meaning. Otherwise, what is the point of saying it is moving, not moving, sitting, running at the same time? Yesterday it was sitting, today it is running is understandable. Because logic can accept that. You say it is running and sitting at the same time. Prasad, same speed also. He is only having a problem with the speed now. Yeah. How can same speed? Sir, one should be slow, one should be fast. No. Same speed also. Other Upanishad is same. It is sitting and moving. Tat ejati, tat na ejati. We are living and dying simultaneously at the same time. As I am living, I am dying. Some part of it is created, some part of it is being destroyed. And life is this continuous cycle of creation, destruction, paradox. And life is the adhara for life. The base for this life is this paradox. The axle does not move, the wheel moves. Correct? Logic is very good. The axle does not move, the wheel moves. Yet, the axle also makes the same journey as the wheel makes. How to even say this? Beautifully he says that. Yet the axle also moved the same distance, the wheel moved. Now, what moved? Both moved. Or both didn't Oh, how to even understand all this? So, he says, Upanishad says, leave your logic behind and come to me. I will teach you with a different logic. Your logic adhara is ignorance. My logic adhara is facts. That's Upanishad. Upanishad is saying, Sunil, your logic is ignorance based. I am not saying. Upanishad is saying, my logic is fact based. So what you got to do? With your logic, don't try to understand this. Leave it behind. That's why symbolically we leave the footwear outside. We leave that behind. Why do we leave the footwear outside? Oh, dirty it will get. I asked Meera, we should tell people to leave the footwear outside. No, I said. Yes, sir. Then I asked her, why, Meera? Why we should do that? No, people will go to the beach, they will come, full of sand they will make. No. That's no reason. Leave your logic behind and come in afresh, because here you are going to encounter a fact-based logic which you are not used to at all. You are so used to ignorance-based logic which you have misunderstood as logic all along. Now that you are entering here, we are going to be exposed to a new logic. What is a new logic? That defies all our logic. Saying that it is wrong. Saying that it is wrong. Are you okay till now? With this I conclude. We'll continue later also. The same mantra. All reasoning is human made and facts don't worry about it. All reasonings are human made and facts don't worry about it. It doesn't sit and worry about your reasoning may argue in any way, but the facts, unperturbed, unaffected, will continue to proceed in their own fashion. Isn't it? All reasoning is human made. Facts don't worry about it. Your reasoning may argue. You can argue in any way. You can think in any way. Small GD, big GD, Q&A, lawn, here. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do. But nothing. He says, I will function as though this is happening independently and this is also happening independently. Logic says yes or no. Life says yes and no. Ash, this is Vedanta. He's already pulling his hair out. Logic says yes or no. Vedanta says yes and no. We don't know what to do. At least we'll have a tea and come back. We'll meet again at 11:15 we meet.